In small business, sometimes the first couple of months of the year can be a little bit slower than later on in the year. If you want to avoid that going into 2023, then stay tuned for this episode. Welcome to the Lou Blakely Show. You're in the right place if you're a service provider who is ready to transition into a more freedom-based business model with digital products. In this podcast, I share with you a unique combination of launch strategy, energetics, and mindset to create true, long-lasting success. It's time to ditch the burnout for good, create the business that you truly want, and share it with the world. Let's get started. Hi, and welcome to episode 32 of the Lou Blakely Show. Now, today I am sharing with you 3 ways that you can keep the momentum going over the holiday break. Now, I think it's so important to take a break, but it's also just as important to not set yourself up for a slow start to 2023 just because you haven't kind of taken the time and put a little bit of thought into how you can keep momentum going over the break. Because I think that one thing that we can kind of get into is I'm just going to go fully off the grid. I'm going to do a digital detox, and that's all well and good. But I think just having a plan and some simple things that we can do to make sure that those first few months of the year aren't really dead and we're trying to catch up. Because as a small business owner, I think that's a very real thing. You know, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, obviously it's a lot different in America and so on. I used to actually live in America as a snowboard instructor, and I just noticed that, I even worked on Christmas Day. It's not such a big thing up there, but definitely in the Southern Hemisphere, it's summer. We just go fully off the grid sometimes, and, those days between Christmas and New Year's, you don't even really know what day it is, and it's like an amazing thing. But how can you actually enjoy that and know that you've got stuff coming up, you've got money coming in early 2023 that's going to help you then continue to grow momentum rather than just trying to get back from a place of nothingness, if you know what I mean. So these 3 things that I'm sharing with you today are very simple. And, I definitely urge you, if you haven't already, to do them this week, because they're just going to be small things that are going to help you get ahead. So here they are. Here's what you can do right now. You can take some time this week to plan out and get some of your content pre-done for over that holiday time. It's up to you how much you want to post. I don't believe that you have to actually post that much. But what about in the actual new year? If you start back work early in January, for example, and you've got no content going out, it's probably going to take you a few days of work to actually get to that point anyway, because there's going to be other things you need to do. So you could even prepare a little bit of content for that time now, after you come back. So that's not something you urgently need to do. I think when our content gets urgent and we haven't done it, and we kind of, that's when we can kind of start being really inconsistent. So taking a little bit of time to make sure you've just got something going out. So what that is depends completely on your business. It might be social media posts. It could be emails, which I definitely recommend if you're growing your email list and you're, building towards your next launch, then you definitely need to be nurturing that email list and keeping in touch with them. And the same goes for this time of year. Or you might have a blog or a podcast like me. So for me, I'm making sure that I have podcast episode lined up actually for most of January, because I'm going to be away for a very large chunk of January, for almost all of January. So I don't want to be creating podcast episodes on the road if I don't have to. So I am going to get that done before Christmas so that I have that all sorted. And then that's going to give me material to also share on social media and whatnot. So what is coming up for you that you can start talking about on socials? And as I said, you don't need to be posting as much as you normally do, but just you still need something. I just don't think you should go off the grid altogether. Like you personally can totally go off the grid, but if you've like batched some content, scheduled some content out, and it's going to go out regardless of if you're there or not, then I definitely recommend doing so. I actually saw a post just before I started recording this episode. I use the software Buzzsprout to host my podcast, and they've got a Facebook group for people that use the software. And one of the questions was, should I have a podcast episode coming out between the 26th and like the 31st? So between Christmas and New Year's, what's the kind of consensus? Does it even matter? Should I just skip a week? Does anyone even listen? Kind of thing. And I was just reading the comments. It was quite interesting. There was like 30 responses, and they were all saying, this is what I do. Some of them were like repurposing their podcasts into their, like mashups of the best of 2022 in terms of their episodes or something like that. So that's quite cool. Some of them were doing Christmas specials or New Year's specials. And a lot of them were like, no, I'm just publishing as normal. Not one person, like these are all experienced podcasters who are replying, and they all were saying the same thing. There is no drop in listeners. Some people, one person even said, people still have ears, which I thought was quite funny. And I think it's the same with social media. I do not think that everyone just goes off social media. It is ingrained in many of us to use social media daily, and there's not that many people who go totally off that. It's not a habit that you just break for a week, like maybe a few days here and there, but I definitely think that people are still on socials, and you may even get more reach because there's less people posting because they think that it's not the right time to post. I don't think there's any time when it's not right to post, to launch, to do whatever. Like it's all continuous, right? So I want to encourage you to take a little bit of time this week to map that out. What does it look like? Maybe it is to like the second week of January. It could even be the end of January like I'm doing with my podcast. What does that look like for you? And what do you need to do this week to make it happen? And I definitely urge you to keep it simple. You do not need to go over the top or completely start a new strategy now. It is just about keeping going and keeping that momentum up. So the second thing that I recommend that you do in order to keep that momentum going into 2023 is to, and this is a big caveat to it, but set up some ads to keep your list growing or traffic going into your funnel, whatever your setup is, so that you don't feel stressed if you're not posting enough. So maybe you're like, well, normally I post 5 days a week, or I send an email twice a week, and you know that you just don't have the ability to do that right now, then you can definitely supplement that with ads. And one of the amazing things about running Facebook ads or having Facebook ads set up is that if you're not able to produce a whole heap of organic content for whatever reason, and that reason could be anything. It could be that you have an illness you're dealing with. It could be that you are really busy looking after your children and you don't actually have hours and hours a day to create organic content. Or maybe you're busy servicing clients, or you fully don't even want to batch your content like I mentioned before. Like, that's where ads are really powerful. I think Facebook ads can get a bad rap sometimes, but I think they are extremely powerful when you use them as a tool to consistently be there when you personally can't. And that's where paid advertising, paying for views and all of that stuff will definitely beat organic all of the way, because you don't need to be showing up all of that time, So if you're short on time, I definitely think Facebook ads are amazing. And it's something that I'm probably going to be talking more about and sharing with you and teaching in 2023. So I'm really excited for that, because I know that the people that I work with who are having the more successful launches are definitely doing Facebook ads, because we all need traffic. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit off topic here, but I have to say that one caveat that I'm going to say here with this one is that you already need like a strategy set up, right? You need a course, you need some kind of funnel. So what is that? It could be that you're building your email list right now. So you're going to keep some ads going that are going to send people to your email list and get more people to sign up so that you can, when you are sending out those emails, you've got more and more people to kind of connect with. It might be that you have an evergreen funnel already in place, which is amazing. But what I'm saying is if you don't have a strategy yet, you don't have a lead magnet, you don't have kind of a funnel set up, then don't worry about this one because ads are actually going to be not a good use of your money or the time involved in actually setting it up. Okay, so if you don't have like any free lead magnets, you don't have any course yet, that kind of thing, then don't worry about the ads for now. Okay, so this is for people who have an established strategy and that's where Facebook ads are going to become way more useful to actually send traffic into that funnel or whatever it is. Now, the third way that you can make sure that you've got momentum between now and coming into the start of 2023 is to have some offers planned for early in the year. So that could be even a Boxing Day offer, could be a New Year's Day offer, an early January offer, whatever that is. I think that this year coming into 2023, it's going to be more important than ever to be very comfortable selling, putting offers out there, creating new offers and having them ready to go and planned out, probably more so than it used to. I think that the whole kind of we're going to launch like 3 times a year is not going to work so well going forward, and it is going to be important to have different ways that people can work with us more frequently, and when those seem like a real no-brainer offer, when they are aligned with a particular time of year, I think that's going to be really powerful. So have you got an offer that's sorted, that's slightly different to maybe what you normally offer, that's going to be really appealing to people to jump on when they're looking for ways to work with you or looking for help or a way to solve their problem? What's an offer that you can put in front of them? You can get creative. If you already have an online course, there's so many different ways that you can create an epic offer around that that's particular to a certain occasion, whatever it is. It could also be a Christmas offer. So do you have one or more kind of in the bag that you can bring out either over the holiday period or kind of as soon as people get back to work? Because putting out offers is the way that you can actually guarantee that you're going to start making money. And we want to start making money in 2023, basically from day one. We want to make sure that we're not sitting in this kind of like downward trend that we sometimes see at the start of the year. So make sure that you're doing what you can to actually not have that be your reality this coming year. And the only way you can do that is to sell, to have offers that seem irresistible, that are irresistible to the people that you work with, so that there's an amazing way to work with you and it just becomes a no-brainer. So if you haven't got an offer, definitely take some time this week just to map out what that could be and like get creative and have a wee brainstorm. And you don't need to do a huge amount of work for this, especially if you already have a course and you already have all of the things in place. Like really all you need to do is map out that offer, exactly what it is, what people get, and then create the checkout page and off you go. That is all you need. And then go back to the first tip that I shared with you, is that you can create some content around that. Okay, so I think that's really powerful. What's your offer going to be in early 2023? So today I've shared with you 3 simple things that you can do this week that aren't going to take you much time at all, just a few hours, and you could be set up for a great January. So before you go completely off, make sure you take just a few hours to set yourself up, because I think it's going to be very well worth your time. So thanks for listening to today's episode. I'll be back on Thursday with another episode, and I hope to catch you then. Thanks, course creators and go-getters. You're incredible, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit subscribe in your podcast app so you don't miss an episode. If you'd like to find out more about what I offer, head across to loublakely.com. See you next time.